Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you both for your service. And Director Clapper, I wanted to follow up on some of the same issues regarding Iran, and specifically our capability of knowing for sure if they're cheating, if they're not living by any obligations. You testified here today on the negative impacts of sequester on the intelligence community. And in addition, we have a lot of examples before those budget circumstances, before sequester, of not knowing what was going on in other countries real time, of not fully appreciating what North Korea was doing in the past, of not knowing that Gaddafi had chemical weapons before his downfall and we got in there. And I think you've testified specifically about that, of not knowing today. We've talked about whether Russia's violating some of our agreements with them, like the intermediate range nuclear forces, of not knowing everything going on in Syria in real time. Is our capability in Iran qualitatively better than all those other places pre-sequester and pre-budget impacts?
Well, I would call it comparable, and would be happy to discuss in more detail what our actual intelligence capabilities are against Iran in a closed session.
Well, if they're, I mean, that sort of reinforces my question. If they're comparable, and given the past track record of not knowing precisely what was going on in those places until well after the fact, how can you state that we're certain that our intelligence community is capable of detecting if Iran doesn't meet its agreements and starts moving forward on a nuclear weapon?
Well, that not all of that insight is not dependent on the intelligence community. It is also heavily dependent on the authorities for more intrusive observation and surveillance by the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Administration. And under the provisions of the JPOA, they will have very intrusive insight into Iran. So that would be that would make a big difference to me. If we didn't have that, that would make a major difference.
But for that to be foolproof, you have to know exactly where to look and exactly what questions to ask. Would that be correct? I mean, certainly those provisions interact with intelligence community capabilities and work.
I didn't understand the question, sir. I'm sorry.
Certainly all that's related, the work of the intelligence community and those provisions.
Yes, it is, and I'd prefer to discuss that relationship in closed session.
Okay. Well, let me just underscore my concern, particularly given history in North Korea, Syria, Russia right now, Libya, plenty of other places. Final question on Iran. I think you've testified today that cyber is your single biggest concern. Does that equation change if Iran gets a nuclear weapon?
Assad in Syria?
Cyber.
Oh, cyber.
Cyber.
And the question is, sir, I'm sorry?
Does that statement, does that rank as your most serious concern? Does that change if Iran gets a nuclear weapon?
Well, I'd have to rethink that, I guess, if that were to happen.
Thank you.